Officially, theirs is a combat support role, but as the shark's teeth markings on their Cobra helicopters suggest, they see themselves as hunter-killers. From their base at Fubai near Wei, the pilots of F Troop 4th Air Cavalry fly further north than any other American helicopter unit to search out and destroy what, in their laconic way, they call simply the bad guys. And the bad guys shoot back. 5 rounds of anti-aircraft fire have hit this Cobra, or snake as the pilots call them. 1 shell has exploded inside the tail section, damaging the transmission system. It could easily have put the tail rotor out of action, leaving the helicopter to revolve helplessly beneath its own main rotor till it crashed out of control. Relief at returning safely from a mission shows itself in a sort of boastful hilarity. Accounts of what they did to the North Vietnamese and the near misses they've had themselves. They don't have much time to talk.
I was scrambling. Especially when I'm watching those black puffs come up and I look over and he's changing magazine. Oh.
The ground crews are already rearming the helicopters with missiles and ammunition belts. Cavalrymen have always walked with a certain swagger. Every pilot keeps his black Stetson, $20 apiece, straight from America, under his seat and puts it on for the walk over to the operations room where he'll be briefed on his next mission. While most American units are now thinking primarily of when they'll be sent home and of how to avoid being killed in the interim, F Troop prides itself on being fully involved in the war. The pilots are in real danger every time they fly, and that may be 7 hours a day. Since the troop arrived here on April the 1st, 8 crews have been shot down, though all but 2 of them have been rescued. When they're briefly on the ground, the game the pilots play is risk. The counters on the board are armies, and the aim of each player, military victory and world domination. The winner of this game, Captain Dan Lott. As leader of the Loach helicopters, the little birds that fly ahead of the Cobras looking for trouble, he takes perhaps more risks than the other pilots.
So many of the American units now working in this war, B-52 pilots, for example, or the fleet at sea, operate a long way from their target. Perhaps they never see it except by radar or something like that, or because a spotter tells them it's there. You're right in on the ground. How does it feel to sort of tackle the enemy at close quarters like that?
It's exciting. It's something that you've trained to do for an extended period of time. And you find that when you do it, initially going out on a mission, of course, you feel the same fear that anybody else feels when they realize that you might go out and get hit.
It's sometimes said that your unit is the only one that's still enjoying this war.
I wouldn't say enjoying it. I'll say perhaps participating. Some people enjoy it, some don't. Some just go out and do it as a job. It's a daily grind.
What is it to you?
I enjoy it.
Skimming over the paddy fields and sand dunes, the Loach pilots show what low-level flying really means. This time the mission is to the north in the My Chan area, where the South Vietnamese Marines are trying to repel any North Vietnamese advance. Wheeling and turning, literally hedge-hopping, the 2 Loaches scan the ground for signs of the enemy, tank tracks, bunkers or trails. The Cobras, with their superior firepower, follow. The command ship in which we are traveling holds itself ready to swoop in and retrieve any crew shot down. A little further north and the enemy reveals itself. Innocent-looking puffs of smoke in the sky mean anti-aircraft fire.
They've drawn fire from a little village about 2.5 miles in from the seashore and just into Quang Tri province across the My Chan River. The Loaches have drawn the fire and now the Cobras are going in. But it seems that the North Vietnamese have got a 37mm anti-aircraft gun, firing airbursts, shrapnel exploding in the air, extremely dangerous with these very vulnerable helicopters.
On the ground, it's the noise of exploding artillery and mortar rounds, the shattering din of small arms fire that means danger. Up here, where the noise of the rotors drowns almost everything else out, it's the sharp pitch of the pilots' voices on the radio that tells you you're in action. The only weapon we really hear is our own 50 caliber machine gun, which joins in the fight. The North Vietnamese anti-aircraft gun has apparently been silenced. Now the Cobras fire flechette rockets at what look like camouflaged troop positions. The red smoke marks the moment when the rocket releases its steel darts, which stabilize in the air as they fly towards the target. Out at sea, just off the coast, the 7th Fleet fires 150 rounds into the target the air cavalry has identified. Their armament expended, the helicopters head back to refuel and rearm.
Richard Lindley, news at 10, South Vietnam.